Hi there, Emil here from Lekmer. Today I'm gonna take you with me on a classical kayak tour. We're gonna paddle around Stockholm and Kungsholmen, an iconic island for kayaking in Stockholm in Sweden. So I'm just by our place at Eden here, which is a perfect starting point if you're gonna go around Kungsholmen. So we're right here on the map, and we're gonna go around this island, which is called Kungsholmen. And Kungsholmen is known for having a perfect canal paddling through, Karlbergskanalen, which is beautiful and quite naturesque for being in the central part of Stockholm. So we will see a lot of cityscapes and beautiful sights, and also a lot of nature. So come join me and we'll get started. My choice of kayak today will be a Melker, which is a beautiful boat that usually is my choice of kayak. I really like it. And on it I use this new deck bag that I got from Gearlab. And since a few years ago I've been kind of anti deck bags, but I was out paddling with Ken Whiting, I think it's 2 years ago in Lapland, and he showed me his deck bag and I actually got quite intrigued. So I got this deck bag from Gearlab, especially now when I've started filming a lot more. It has this great little place where I can put my cameras to be able to film and shoot shots much easier, and it's nice to have things. I usually have some snacks, so I have some chocolate in here, I have a hat, and also my wind jacket and paddling jacket. So I keep some things in here so I have them easy access, and it is really nice. And it gets attached on the boat with these deck hands, which is really neat. So it's just a clamp that clamps on to the deck lines here. So it's super easy to attach and also take and detach, which I really like, as I use a bunch of different kayaks quite often. It's really nice if you want to be filming on different kayaks and things like that. So that's what I'm going to use today as well. So my choice of clothing today is a wool base layer on both my legs and on my top, and I also have some rain pants on my legs to keep me dry from splashes of water. I do paddle with a spray skirt to keep me even drier in the cockpit. That will both keep me warmer and drier. We are in September now and the weather is starting to be a little bit more chill. So it's somewhere just over 10 degrees Celsius today. And it's warmer in the water than it is in the air, but it's sunny and beautiful, so I think I'm gonna be okay. I also have my paddling jacket close by in my deck bag, so if it gets a little bit chilly I can put on that. Now we're ready to get going, so let's launch the kayak. There we go, we're on the water, so let's get going and circumnavigate this island. Our first stop will be Stockholm City Hall, and we will go over the little bit bigger body of water that's called Riddarfjärden. When we're paddling, so right here in Stockholm, we're actually in Sweetwater. We are in a lake called Mälaren, which is Sweden's third biggest lake. And this is actually the drinking water reservoir for Stockholm, which is quite cool. So we're paddling in our drinking water. So if you're out kayaking here and find any garbage, please pick it up. We'll try to keep the sea or the lake as clean as possible. So let's get going. Behind me you can see Västerbron, a quite famous bridge and a classical Stockholm icon. And the bridge was finished in 1935 and it reaches from Kungsholmen to Södermalm and connects the two city parts. Västerbron is famous for being a part of Stockholm Marathon, and it's a quite steep climb for the runners running up the 600-meter long bridge. So it's famous for that, and it's also quite popular in pop culture. So if you look in a lot of Swedish pop songs, most or quite many of them actually talk or sing about Västerbron. It is also recommended to walk up and have a look over the city because it gives you a perfect hero shot of Stockholm city. And we will actually see it when we reach the end of our tour today, that we will see how the arch of Västerbron frames Riddarfjärden perfectly, so you can get that super shot of Stockholm. Here to my left, we have one of Stockholm's more cool tech things here on the water. We have a boat that does carry passengers from Kungsholmen all the way to Södermalm, and it goes without having a driver, so it's fully autonomous. So you see it here, this green one. So that one goes without a driver and carries foot passengers from one side to the other. As we are a city on water, it's great to have these different transport way of means to faster get from one island to the other. So I'm paddling along here along Mälaren, it's called, which is a pretty popular walkway. We have a lot of people walking around, and especially sunny days like this. And we also have a lot of bigger boats that people actually live in. So a lot of houseboats. Stockholm City Hall is towering up in front of us, and it's an iconic building in Stockholm and in Sweden, where it's almost always people. It is the place for the Nobel banquet, where they eat a great dinner after the Nobel Prize, and it's also a beautiful museum, and where our local government sits. So Stockholm municipality government sits in City Hall. So we've left Riddarfjärden and gone into this nice and cozy Karlbergskanalen, where we will find Karlbergs slot eventually, and we will paddle along Kungsholmen Strand. Some fresh Swedish snooze. That's not supposed to be here. So to my right side we have Stransleden, a quite busy driveway with a lot of cars going on and off. But to my left you will see that it's lush and green and a lot of people walking along Kungsholmen Strand. And this place and this part of the route is where you can relax a little bit more. It's not as windy and not as exposed as Riddarfjärden. So you can really relax and go with the flow, and it's quite narrow on some places and really, really beautiful. So it's a nice place. Oh, one more thing. When paddling in Stockholm, you can paddle under quite many bridges. I need to count how many bridges there are, but I think you can go under so many. And I challenge you to, when you get back, maybe drink a beer for every bridge you paddle under. Then you will get drunk. I promise that. quite interesting when you're paddling here in Stockholm and you have this beautiful lush area to our left, and to our right we have traffic and cement. Now there is coming some trees here, but it's interesting that they haven't done anything more or anything better out of that part, because that's the sunny part as well in the midday. So hopefully someday soon, within my lifetime, they will cover the roadway and build something better there. But slow and steady. So also, the last couple of years, Stockholm have started to put out these pontoons or jetties out in the water, in the channel, and all around Stockholm actually, which is perfect to take a quick stop with your kayak, to take a coffee and maybe a snack. And it's also a perfect place or a perfect way to get on the water and just relax and soak in the sun, as we Stockholmers love to do. So we're gonna find one of those and maybe take a cup of coffee and take a snack. That's it for this coffee break. Now it's time to paddle towards the lunch. So I really like these pontoons. They are great for making quick stops, grabbing a cup of coffee and having a great time and enjoying the sun. And it's really a great way to experience Stockholm. So good job, Stockholm City, with these. We're reaching the end of Karlbergskanalen and have come up close to Karlbergs slott, or Karlbergs castle, which is a beautiful white building with two big flyglar. Don't know that word in English, but wings, I think it's called. So Karlbergs slott and Karlbergs castle is actually the world's oldest still active military school. So this is the place where we educate our officers in our military. So it's still active and it's actually a beautiful place to visit. So you should come by or paddle by, because it's quite beautiful to look at. Now we're getting close to the end of Karlbergskanalen and are going out towards Ulfsundarsjön or Hornsbergs Strand. More modern place in Stockholm City and on Kungsholmen, with modern buildings and new and popular city life. And this is where we're gonna eat lunch. When you are paddling around Kungsholmen, we usually have two spots where it can be more shoppy. It is here just outside Hornsbergs Strand, and it is on Riddarfjärden where we started. So those are the two more risky parts, or what you would say, that you will paddle on. So it's good to be prepared, and it's nice to, when you get out of this nice coastal channel, to be ready for what's coming. So let's go. Let's find some place to eat lunch. now we've arrived to the place where we want to eat lunch, and what I usually look for is to take up my kayak is to find a jetty that is quite low and where there are not that many people, so I don't disturb people when I get in and out of my kayak, and I don't leave my kayak in a place where other people want to be. So if it would have been a warm, hot summer day in the middle of July, then this place where I'm gonna go up would have been packed. But as it is September, it is much, much slower here, so then I can find a good place to just go in and pull up my kayak and go and eat lunch, because I won't really disturb anyone, and I do have the right to do this. So be mindful, ask people if you don't understand or don't know if you can go up here, and also be careful with the kayak. Then the lunch was eaten and it's time to continue forward. So here behind me you can see the lake Ulfsundasjön, so it's a part of Mälaren, and just behind me over there we have Pampas Marina, where we have all the houseboats and our other starting point, so that's also a great starting point to do this tour. And my kayak is here ready to keep going, and the stomach is full and everyone's happy, so it's time to get going. When paddling like this and it is a little bit windy, so we get some waves, then it can be smart to keep away from land a bit, because the wharfs here are just made of concrete and super hard, which makes the waves, they just bounce off the walls and back at you again. So it can be a bit choppy waters if you go too close to the wharfs. So try to keep out a little bit from the sides, and you will have much calmer water and easier to paddle. Personally, I like the choppy water, but it can be good to think about at least. Otherwise, it's a beautiful day. It's not that windy, and it was a good burger. So have a lunch at Hornsbergs Strand. Really recommend. While we're getting along here along Riddarfjärden on our left-hand side, and have just passed by Tranebergsbron, one of, not the last bridge we will pass, but one of the last. I'm going to talk a little bit about the paddle I've chosen for today. So I've been trying out this Aqua bound Tetra Ultra-Lite during the summer, and I've grown really fond of it. It's really living up to its name about Ultra-Lite. It's so light that when you get the blade into the water, you want to bounce up, because the flotation is much higher, so it's super low density. And I really like it for touring and for paddling. So it's been my go-to paddle, and I think it will be my go-to paddle for the coming years, to be honest. I really, really like it. And looking at it, it has the lamb lock, so I think the edges will keep good for a few years to come. And especially how I use my paddles, I push myself through ice and stuff in the winter. I think this one will last me a long, long time, and I'm looking forward to really wear it out if I can. So the Aquabound Tetra Ultra-Lite, I really recommend. As we paddle through Fredhäll, and just in between Fredhäll and Lilla Essingen, we can look out towards Stora Essingen and Lilla Essingen, two islands of Stockholm's I think inner part of Stockholm has 14 different islands that it's built on. That's why there are so many bridges. Essingen was, in the old days, it was regarded outside of town. That's where the rich people had their summer houses and stuff. But nowadays it's a part of the inner town, a lot of posh houses on there. And both Lilla and Essingen are great to paddle around, and you can either add that on the tour around Kungsholmen or do a separate tour around Kungsholmen or Lilla and Essingen. That's approximately 1.5 hours to paddle, I would say. Essingen is also known for being the most dense populated island in Sweden. It's a small island and it only have apartment buildings on them. And it's actually so that they have built or have enlarged the whole island to build even more houses on it. That's happening right now. So just right here to my right, we have a newly built building there, and they're building more and more. On Essingen we also have the big motorway called Essingeleden, which is the most heavily trafficked road in Sweden. So there are always traffic there, no matter what time of day you are there or night. So I usually like when I'm paddling here, I enjoy sitting in my kayak, looking at the cars. So it's much nicer down here, having the fresh breeze and enjoying the sound of the water. The sound of the motorway isn't that fun though, but that's how it is. Now we're getting close to home again and back at Eden. So the western bridge, eller Västerbron, is towering up just in front of us here. And if you remember in the beginning I talked about the beautiful pictures you could take where the arch of Västerbron is framing Riddarfjärden and the central part of Stockholm. So let's paddle there and have a look. And here we have it, the beautiful Stockholm view with Riddarfjärden and Stockholm's inner parts, beautifully framed by Västerbron. And this marks the end of the tour today. We're just going to go in here to Eden and pick up our kayak and wipe it out and be ready and done for today. So hope you liked the video, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. And if you have any comments or any ideas or any questions about what we've seen or any stories of your own from when you paddled around Kungsholmen, please tell us. We love to hear from you. And remember to subscribe and also like the video, because there will be more videos both about tours and also about knowledge. And last but not least, if you want to do this tour, we do have it both guided and self-guided. There are tour descriptions on our webpage and also on thenaturemap.com, eller naturkartan.com. So thanks for today and see you next time.